morning, good evening, whatever it is, wherever you are YouTube. Well, this is ride 2 of the day. If you haven't already seen the other video, don't forget to check it out after watching this one. But we're here on the dealer demo day, or the media demo day I should say, for Zero motorcycles. So we are on the big one now, the ZRF, ZRS, something like that. I will put the quote up at the top, but this is the big one that's more powerful. Now it's very difficult to actually put an equivalence of power on these because they make the power in such a different way to an internal combustion engine. So it's very hard to tell. This one's definitely got, in eco mode, a lot more regeneration on the brakes than the small one. It is definitely a considerably more regenerative brakes. As you can see, as soon as you shut the throttle, it slows down quite a lot more, so you're using the brakes a lot less. But this is notably, this is already in eco mode notably more powerful. And that's not to say the other one wasn't, because the other one went very well. The S model in itself went very well, but this really does go. So yeah, we're just going to try a little bit. The roads are dried out nicely now, which is good as well. Just go a few miles to get used to the bike, and we'll see what we think of it. So first impression, riding position's very nice. I'm getting a bit more wind blast. I'm not quite sure why that is, but definitely seem to be getting a little bit more wind blast. But very easy to ride still for something that is notably powerful. We definitely have a little bit more wind blast, but easy riding bike. Comfortable. And again, it hides its weight really well. This is a heavy bike, but it doesn't feel like a heavy bike. It does feel like a big bike. That's one thing to note. This does feel like a proper motorcycle. It doesn't feel at any point like a small bike. But what is your extra money buying you on this version? Well, obviously it's buying you more power and more range, or particularly more power. And it is also buying you a bigger bike experience. There's a lot more tech on this. That's it, that's the speed limiter. The guy going the other way hasn't sussed. Oh yeah, there we go. So I went from eco mode there to sport mode, though I did notice one called Beast, and we're going to try that in a little while. But just going from eco to sport, there was instantly a lot more power available. I want to know what that is. Okay, we're now in Beast mode, so this has traction control, ABS, stability control, very good suspension, and it's very, very, very easy to handle. Its weight seems to work in its favour, and it gives it a sure-footedness. And this riding position is very commanding, very flickable, yet it steers with absolutely no effort. So it seems that Beast mode only works for a certain amount of time, because it's now gone into sport mode, so I'm not sure what that was. Can I get it back? Okay, we're in Beast mode now. Now we're in Beast. Oh yeah, oh holy. Well, pardon my expression there, that was all of it, and it clicks back into sport. So I'll have a word with Zero and find out what that's all about, but there was all of the power available there momentarily. And to be honest, it's still definitely not short. Even here in the sport mode, it's definitely not short of power, and it's not short in confidence either. Not at all. This is great. The difference in the regeneration is quite obvious between the two modes, and this is definitely a very different bike. It's amazing how different the personality is. Now, I'm one of those people, I've always, I suppose just through experience, assumed the bike's engine is the majority of the bike's character. Well, that's apparently very much not true, because this is a fantastic motorcycle without an engine. And again, it doesn't feel like it's an electric bicycle. This is a motorcycle. It's very obviously a motorcycle, just with this amazing warp drive kind of thing going on, which is really just amazing fun. And it's going to be very easy on this sort of bike to really just do things you shouldn't be doing, because it just wants to go. This is just fantastic. It's like riding your favourite sports bike, but always being in absolutely the right gear, which is exactly what you want. So interestingly, one thing I've just noticed on the dashboard, it does actually have a temperature gauge, because these are liquid cooled. I think it might be an oil cooled motor on them, but it does have a temperature gauge, which is quite interesting. It's not something I was expecting to see on an electric bike. Oh, I see. I think Beast gives you a short burst of power, then it goes back to sports and maintainable load. That's what I think is going on. So what I'll do is put a little bit of a caption up just to say if that's what the deal is. But anyway, back to the review. So, riding position's good. The seat is maybe slightly on the firm side, but not to a problem. I mean, again, you've got a range of around 100 miles. So you're not going to be doing 5 hours in one go without getting off. So I think the seat's going to be more than adequate there. It feels much smaller than it is, and it feels stable, but it definitely feels like a grown-up motorcycle. It's very hard to compare it to anything, because it's not like anything I've ever ridden. So we've got an 80-mile range at the moment. The battery's not too hot, the motor's staying nice and cool, the bike's behaving itself. But because of the lack of sound, it actually almost emphasises the smoothness, because there's just no reference point for you. It's just like the throttle is connected to a giant rope that's pulling you forward with infinite power. Ride is nice. You can feel the road you're connected to it, but it's not bouncing me out the seat. And like I say, it's quite windy today, as you can probably hear. I'm not getting blown about. And it's stable, but because the weight is held so low down with the batteries, it's stable without being slow steering, so it still responds very easily. From a handling point of view, this is just as easy to ride as the smaller one that I rode earlier. So the Zero S was the first taste, and this is just more of everything. So this is an absolutely... it really is hard to compare it to anything. And bits of it are so familiar, you know, the handling and the braking, riding position, everything feels like I'm on a motorcycle, except for the power delivery and the sound. Those are totally different. The smoothness also takes you by surprise. There is just absolutely no vibration at all. There is the tiniest bit of noise coming from the motor and drivetrain, but it's almost nothing. The other thing to remember is, because there are so few moving parts, wear is not going to be an issue. So mileage on these bikes, I mean, this one's done 1,622 miles, so it's not done anything. But I don't see a reason this wouldn't do 10 times that, 20 times that, or more. And equally, this doesn't really require any running in. There's no piston rings and crank bearings to bed in, so there's no running in required, which is another benefit. You get it out the box and it's ready to go. So, summing up, what's my impression of this bike so far? Would I own one? Absolutely, no question at all. It's very hard, because when you're reviewing bikes, it's tempting to think, well, I don't want to say anything negative about it, because I don't want to sort of slap the distributor or importer in the face. The fact of the matter remains, I don't believe there are any bad bikes now, and I've ridden a wide variety of bikes on this channel, from the Harley V-Rod, or Street Rod, sorry, to the Royal Enfields. And every single bike has had something that I've really enjoyed about them. And this is a nice motorcycle, But the really unique factor on this is the thing that was almost going to be the non-unique factor, and that's that it doesn't have an engine. And like I said, you're so used to thinking of the engine as being the character of the bike that you feel that, oh, it's going to be bland and boring without an engine. Nothing could be further from the truth. Absolutely nothing. In fact, this bike's character comes from not having an engine. You can almost kind of imagine it's got the force powering it. Because it really is, and again, I'm not thinking about the gear change in that, pulling away from the roundabout. It's just concentrate on the ride, concentrate where you're going, roll it round. Absolutely lovely. Absolutely lovely. Just smooth handling. Rides in, rolls through the roundabout, out the other side. Totally confidence inspiring. It's saying 17 degrees C on the dashboard. I'm not convinced by that at all. Oh yes, 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 I like that. Yeah, I'm not thinking about the temperature, and yeah, it allows you to concentrate on the road, it allows you to concentrate on where you're going, and it's a really simple bike to ride in that respect. So what we're going to do now is we're going to head over, we're going to go and use one of the public charging points, see what they like to charge, and then we're going to try one of the others. Again, we've got a roll-on situation here. Just going to let it go a bit, so we've got to give it some beans. Hey! Yeah, that must have been getting very close to lifting the front wheel there, but the pull through the bars was absolutely phenomenal, and I barely got it to full throttle. And the pull of that was really quite... Hey! Yes, it's instantaneous. That's absolutely... that's absolutely hilarious. It's just, it doesn't matter what speed. Yeah, the guy in front's having the same thing. Hey! Apologies for laughing so much. This is just the most fun. This is just absolutely hilariously fun. I want one. I want one so much. It feels weird doing that because normally on any bike you're going to have a change in the noise and the vibration and everything else. This is just zip, and it's done. It's just... It just makes you question everything you know. It really does. I don't know if it's going to be possible on camera to really pick up what that acceleration's like, but I'm genuinely having to hang on to the handlebars. I mean, it's not just it's just because it's so instantaneous. You really actually have to hang on. And this is definitely a bike for more experienced riders. And just forget the paper numbers. They don't apply in the same way to an electric motorcycle. This is simply a different beast. What this has done is exactly the same thing as a passenger ride in the Tesla Model S has done. It's made internal combustion kind of feel old-fashioned. This is definitely the future. And yet with all this performance it is so easy to ride. Even at what, 4 miles an hour. Dead easy. It's surprising how intuitive it is as well. You very quickly don't feel like you need to change gear. It's first couple of miles I was thinking, oh, where's my gear lever, where's my clutch, and then you don't. And it's a totally different type of fun. It is a very different feeling, and it's definitely going to refresh your enthusiasm for bikes. So we're going to pop in, plop this one in charge, and we'll try something else on the way back. If you like these videos, hit the like and subscribe button. At the moment 95% of you watching these videos are not subscribed, so hit the like and subscribe button. We'll see you soon.